The Fifth Wave is a 2016 American science fiction action film directed by J. Blakeson from a screenplay by Susanna Grant, Akiva Goldsman, and Jeff Pinkner, based on Rick Yancey's 2013 novel of the same name. The film stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Nick Robinson, Ron Livingston, Maggie Siff, Alex Rowe, Maria Bello, Micah Monroe, and Liev Schreiber. Development began in March 2012, when Columbia Pictures picked up the film rights to the trilogy of novels, with Graham King's production company GK Films and Tobey Maguire's Material Pictures. Filming took place in Atlanta, Georgia, from October 2014 to January 2015. The Fifth Wave was released in the United States on January 22, 2016 by Sony Pictures Releasing. Despite negative reviews from critics, the film was moderately successful, grossing $109.9 million worldwide against a $38 to $54 million budget. 5.
Plot.
Ohio high schooler Cassie Sullivan, armed with an M4 carbine, emerges from the woods to raid an abandoned gas station. Upon entering, she hears a voice calling for help. She finds a wounded man who points a gun at her, and then each of them asks the other to put their weapon down. When he pulls his other hand out from under his jacket, she mistakes the metallic glint of a Christian cross for that of a gun, so she kills him. The screen then cuts to black, and her backstory begins. A colossal alien spaceship is circling Earth, guided by extraterrestrial life referred to as the Others. 10 days later, the Others unleash their first wave, an electromagnetic pulse that disables all electrical power and communications worldwide and shuts off the engines of moving vehicles, including planes in mid-flight. The second wave gives the Others power to manipulate the planet's geology and fault lines, causing earthquakes and mega-tsunamis that destroy coastal cities and islands, including Miami, London, Bangkok, and New York City. In Ohio, Lake Erie floods. Cassie and her younger brother Sam escape by climbing a tree. For the third wave, the Others modify a strain of avian influenza and spread it across the planet via birds. The population is decimated, with Cassie's mother, Lisa, one of the victims. In the fourth wave, the Others control humans and start killing other humans. Cassie, Sam, and their father, Thomas, find a summer camp in the woods that is used as a refuge for 300 survivors or so. A few days later, a United States Army unit with working vehicles rolls into the camp. The unit's commander, Colonel Alexander Vosh, claims there is an imminent threat of a fifth wave. He states that the Army will take the children to safety at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and will bring the buses back for the adults. Cassie is separated from Sam and witnesses the Army unit massacre all the adults, including Thomas. Cassie makes her way toward the base, but is shot in the leg by a sniper and passes out. A week or so later, she wakes up in the farmhouse of a young man named Evan Walker, who tells her that he saved her life. Cassie leaves, heading towards the base with Evan, but she learns that he is an Other, sent years ago as a sleeper agent. He merged his consciousness into a human host. The sleepers roam their designated zones, killing human survivors. Evan admits his humanity was reactivated when he saw her, and that he is not willing to cooperate with his training and the invasion. He lets her leave. He warns that Vosh and the military are possessed by the consciousness of individual Others. At the base, the military have used deception and technology to convince the rescued children that all humans outside the base have been possessed. They provide military training to the children, forming them into squads to go on killing missions outside the base. Sam has been placed into a squad led by Ben Parrish, a boy Cassie had a crush on, along with Ringer, a tough teenage girl, Dumbo, a teenage boy who survived the second wave, and Teacup. While on their kill mission, Ringer removes her military implant, causing her to register as an Other-possessed human on the squad scopes. The squad deduces that the plan is to have them kill any non-possessed humans, i.e., they are the fifth wave. Ben sends his squad into the woods and returns to base, claiming his squad was killed, in order to retrieve Sam, who was left behind. Ben confronts Vosh about child warriors being the fifth wave. Cassie kills Sergeant Resnick during her one-on-one indoctrination. Ben and Cassie find each other and leave to find Sam. Evan sets off numerous bombs and advises them to find Sam before the destruction of the entire facility. Vosh and the surviving military others evacuate with the human children by military aircraft. Cassie, Ben, and Sam escape, with help from Ringer, just as Evan completes the base's destruction. Ben's squad is reunited, and Cassie ponders the strength of hope as humanity's driving force for survival.
Cast:
Chloe Grace Moretz as Cassie Sullivan. Nick Robinson as Ben Thomas Parrish/Zombie. Ron Livingston as Oliver Sullivan, Cassie's father. Maggie Siff as Lisa Sullivan, Cassie's mother. Alex Rowe as Evan Walker. Maria Bello as Sergeant Resnick. Micah Monroe as Ringer. Zachary Arthur as Sam Sullivan/Nugget, Cassie's younger brother. Liev Schreiber as Colonel Alexander Vosh. Tony Revolori as Dumbo. Talitha Bateman as Teacup. Najee Jeter as Pound Cake. Alex McNichol as Flintstone. Parker Weirling as Jeremy. Production. Development. In March 2012, Columbia Pictures picked up the film rights to the trilogy, with Graham King and Tobey Maguire attached as producers. 7 On April 15, 2014, it was officially announced that Chloe Grace Moretz would star as Cassie Sullivan and that Jay Blakeson would direct from a script by Susanna Grant. 9 From June through August 2014. Nick Robinson and Alex Rowe joined the film as male protagonists Ben Parrish and Evan Walker, respectively, while Liev Schreiber was cast as the villain. 11 Over the following months, Micah Monroe, Zachary Arthur, Tony Revolori, Ron Livingston, Maggie Siff, and Talitha Bateman joined the film. 12, 13, 14, 15. Filming. Principal photography began on October 18, 2014, in Atlanta, Georgia. 16 According to production designer John Billington, the production team scouted a number of cities, but Atlanta was ultimately selected for its visual diversity and interest. 17 A total of $21.7 million was spent shooting in Georgia. 967 local crew members were hired to help with the production of the film, and they spent 17,843 man-days working on the film. 18 Billington designed the various sets used throughout the movie around the Cassie and her story. He viewed the film as Cassie's Odyssey and envisioned 5 worlds that she travels through linearly. A few scenes taking place in the forest were shot on the Jackson Trail, outside of Winder, Georgia, U.S. 17 3 months after production began on January 11th, a planned explosion of a bus in downtown Macon, Georgia, for the film went awry when it spread wider than planned, blowing out more than 40 windows on Cotton Avenue, collapsing ceilings, destroying storefronts, setting one building on fire, and leaving soot on the brick buildings as well. The production company promised to cover all damages caused by the 3:45 a.m. incident, but the work that was done badly and remained incomplete 28 months later. 1920 filming officially ended on January 17, 2015. 21. Livitz Launches provided filming support for the scene showing the destruction of Tower Bridge by a tsunami. 22 In addition to London, Miami, Bangkok, Beijing, and New York can all be seen.